Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, have you ever been criticized by someone in your life? We all have been in that situation in all of our lives. No one can stop other people to criticize us. That is something that is out of our control. You have to keep it in your mind. Criticism, blames, scoldings, and other people's opinions in our life is something that we cannot control by ourselves. That is called the things are out of our control. So, we cannot stop for other person to judge us. Now, normally the nature of people is always they are judging us. They keep on judging, they keep on criticizing, and we cannot stop them. Once our great teacher Supreme Buddha explained this to a Brahmin called Atula. Supreme Buddha said, Purana metang Atula, netang ajjatanamiva. Supreme Buddha explained, Atula, it came from the ancient time. Nindanti tunhi ma'asina. People will criticize us when we become silent. Nindanti bahubanina. People will criticize when a person who is talking too much. Mitabanim pinindanti. When we speak moderately, when we live our life moderately, people may criticize us. Natti loke anindito. There's no person, there's not a single person who has not been criticized by someone in this world. This verse shows us we all have been criticized in this life. We all have been in that situation in our life. So it is a common phenomena or common incident that we have to face in our life. So how to face these criticisms? Well, there are two types of criticisms in our life. One is the criticisms or the criticizers that which helps us to develop our good qualities. Now, the people who always wish the good of us, our parents, our teachers, our elders, may advise you. Like they may criticize our faults. When we face or when we are in such situations, always listen to those criticisms. Always listen to those advices. Do not consider it as a bad thing. Do not consider it as a negative criticism. It is a positive criticism. You can develop the good qualities and you can make your faults correct when you listen to those advices. So they are called positive criticism. And there's another criticism, and then that is the negative criticizing. People may criticize out of jealous. People may criticize us out of anger. They always keep on criticizing it. We cannot stop it. So when we face such situations, the nature of this mind is we become sad, we become depressed, the anxiety will start to develop inside our mind. And what we do is, when we face and when we hear those criticisms to our life, we stop the good things, good practices that we are practicing in our life. You should not do that. You should not give up practicing the merits. You should not give up doing good deeds because of others' words. Dear meritorious children and my dear devotees, do not be backed down from criticizing. Face that. Listen to that. But never stop the good of your life. Never stop doing the good in your life. So we all have to face this common incident in our life. So the more we face the criticism in our life, the more we will have the opportunity to build up good qualities within ourselves. So don't think the criticism as a bad thing. They help you to develop good qualities in your life. When you face negative criticism, always be patient. Always be kind towards them. Because they have judged us, they have come to a conclusion about us which is wrong. So what we have to do, we should not argue with them. We should not try to talk back. We should not try to prove them that they are wrong. So what we have to do, just be silent, just be patient, and always keep on practicing and never stop doing the good deeds and good practices in your life. If you keep on practicing the good things in your life will be successful. It is the nature that when we start doing something good, something wholesome, or when we start doing a service to this world, something good to this world, it is the nature we all face the criticism. All the people who had done a great service to this world, even our great teacher Supreme Buddha, faced criticism. So there's nothing to talk about us. So what we have to do, we have to face those criticism. The more we face the criticism in our life, the more our life will be beautiful. So don't just go through your life. Always grow through your life. When you face those hard times and difficulties in your life, you will always grow through your life. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvang Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Today from this Inner Guide Q&A program, we are going to discuss how to be more productive in meditations. Today I'm going to share with you 3 tips which helps you a lot in meditations, to do your meditations without stopping. The first and the foremost tip that you need to practice in your meditations is to keep your expectations low. Because most of us sit for the meditation expecting that I'm going to meditate for 1 hour and I'm going to be concentrated throughout this meditation. Sometimes our mind is not ready to be concentrated. Now you know the nature of mind is it's like a monkey. It always runs here and there. It is easily distracted, easily frustrated. It is very clumsy. So if you make too much expectations, you will start to suffer because you are not having what you want in that meditation. So what you have to do is you have to know that the mind is impermanent. It will not be the same always. Sometimes your mind is very calm and quiet, and sometimes it will be frustrated and it will be more clumsy than you ever thought. So what you have to do, if you are meditating for maybe 15 minutes, if your mind become concentrated for only 1 minute, just you have to be happy with that. Do not expect too much, because the expectations stands for the sufferings. The more we expect, the more we will suffer. So keep your expectations low. When you are meditating, you always have to think that I will do my meditation as I can. Whether my meditation or whether my mind is concentrated for maybe 1 minute, it's okay. I can be happy with that. If you become happy with what you have, then you can move on. You have that willpower, you will get that willpower to move on to the next meditation. So people become frustrated when they meditate and when they not get what they want. So that is the first tip. Number 2, don't force your mind. Because the more we try to force our mind, the more our mind will be destructive. It's like a monkey. If we try to force a monkey to sit on a chair, what will happen? The monkey will not do that. It is not ready to do that. Same goes with your mind. If you force too much your mind to do the meditation, it will be frustrated and it will be panic more and more. So what you have to do not force your mind. Just let your mind to feel comfortable and relaxed in meditation. When your mind feels relaxed and comfortable in meditations, it will like to do the meditation again and again. So what you have to do is not to force your mind for the meditation too much. And that brings us for the third step. It is the consistency. There are some days that you don't get any concentration in your mind, in your meditations, right? Though you meditated for maybe 30 minutes, your mind would not be concentrated. But you should not give up. You should not stop. Because if we practice this consistency throughout this meditation, one day there will be a day that your mind will get concentrated and your mind will obey your instructions. So what you have to do? Never give up in your meditations. Do it whether you got bad results also. Practice consistency. Consistency is the key for the perfection. Right? You don't want to be talented, you don't want to be clever at first in meditations. What you have to do, all you need to hang on to that meditation and do it again and again and again. One day you will be perfect at meditations. So practice these 3 tips and have a perfect and peaceful meditation in your life. Namo Buddhaya, Therwan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Imagine a situation that you have been accused for a mistake that you haven't done. So when someone scolds you or when someone complains you about a mistake that you haven't done, can you maintain your inner peace at that moment? Can you be kind to that person at that moment? Most of us loses our temper and we start to prove ourselves that we are not wrong and you are the person who has gone wrong. So is it okay to do such things in such situations? Is it okay to always to prove that we are right in such situations? No. In some situations, we have to stay silent, we have to stay kind, and we have to maintain our inner peace without getting frustrated. So how to stay calm and peaceful within such adversive situations? Here's how to do it. In Dhamma, it says, if you stay like water, if you had a mind like water, you will have the opportunity to stay calm during such adversive environments. So how to stay like water? In Supreme Buddha's Dhamma, it describes about the water. The nature of the water is it can accept every negative thing. Now people use water for cleaning purposes. They wash their hands, they wash blood, pus, urine, and so many disgusting things. But yet, water does not complain. It does not blame. It does not become angry. It always maintains its peacefulness and it is always cool. So what you have to do in such situations, in such adversive situations, you have to stay like water. You have to say to yourself that I must stay like water and I'm not going to say anything and I'm not going to prove that I am right. So always maintain your inner peace. Don't let anyone to distract that. Don't let anyone to control your emotions and make you sad. Because if you make your mentality and spirituality distracted, that disadvantage is yours. If you maintain your inner peace in such adversive situations, that advantage is also yours. So what you have to do? You have to stay like water. Accept and absorb every negative things that comes from outer world. It may be criticism, it may be blames, scoldings. Whatever the things they are, you have to absorb them and you have to emit another good thing to this world. You can be kind to them. You can stay silent and you can be patient. The more you develop these divine qualities, you can live happily in your life. You can have a heart that is without the anger and resentment. When your heart is escaped from anger and resentment, you can live freely and you can sleep better. So what you have to do? Stay like water. Be like water. The more you be like water, the more your life will be cooled. So I wish you all, may all of you have the opportunity to be like water and find the ultimate happiness in this world. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. In this long journey of life, there are some times that we have to face unfair situations, right? People, when they face unfair situations, they may think, why is this happening to me? Why always me? Why I am going in this difficult situation? Why I am treated unfair? Now the first thing that we all have to remember is life is meant to be unfair. The problem with us is we expect that our unfair life to be fair, right? So there's a problem that we expect the fairness from the unfair life. So the more we expect the fairness, we will remain sad, we will remain depressed. So Supreme Buddha advised us that you should not expect the fairness in your life. Supreme Buddha said, whatever in others' control, whatever thing that is in others' control is painful. And the one who seeks the fairness will remain frustrated always. That means the more we expect the fairness, the more we remain frustrated. So what we have to do is, we have to keep our expectations low. Now you have to remember that everything that is in others' control, cannot be controlled by yourself. That is out of your control. Right? You cannot control the words of the people. You cannot control the criticism. You cannot control how people treat you. Right? So they are out of your control. The thing that is in your control is your response to them, your reaction to them. So if you react with anger, if you become frustrated with life's difficult situations, right? If you become angry when others treat you badly, you will lose your life's battle. So we are battling in this world with two things, with this physical world as well as our mental and spiritual world. The hardest battle that we can win in our life is the battle with our spirituality. So it is very hard to be calm in difficult situations. It is very hard to be kind when the people treat you badly. So what you have to do, you have to stop expecting the fairness in your life, because the nature of this life is unfair. That is why Supreme Buddha said, everyone who seeks the fairness in this life will remain frustrated, will remain suffered. So stop expecting from others. Instead, give everything to them, but do not expect to them. Sometimes you may think, I am giving my love to this world, why I am not getting it back? Don't be upset. Though you are not received love in this life, in this time, in this moment, make sure one day, as a result of your action, as a result of giving love to this world, as a result of serving to this world, you are going to be loved one day. You are going to be served one day. You are going to be happy one day as a result of that action. So believe in the law of karma, right? If you give something good, definitely you will get something good. And if you give something bad out, if you do something bad, you will get something bad. So keep your expectations low. Do not expect the fairness in this life, and move on this life by doing good deeds and being happy with your life. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. One of you have asked from us, how can we kill the laziness? How can we do the things without laziness? Okay, today from this Inner Guide Q&A program, we are going to discuss that how can we do the things without the laziness, and how can we kill the laziness. To kill the laziness and to do the things without laziness, to stop being lazy in our works, our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us that you should have 4 great qualities. If you have these 4 great qualities within you, you will never feel lazy in your works. You will never feel lazy when you are doing meditations. You will never feel lazy when you are doing studies. To accomplish anything, any special goal in your life, you need to have these 4 great qualities. So what are those great qualities? These are known as 4 iddhipadas. The first great quality, the first iddhipada that you need to have to accomplish anything in your life and to do the things without laziness is called chanda. What do you mean by chanda? Chanda means the desire. If you have the desire for doing something, in one way or another, you are going to do that because you like it, you love it. If you love what you do, or if you do what you love, you will never feel lazy. Now, suppose that you are going a trip or a picnic tomorrow. So tonight, when you are going to bed, you never feel sleepy, you never feel lazy, because your mind is excited and you love that day, that coming tomorrow. So you are going to be happy in that day. So if you are doing something that is you like, that you are passionate about, you will never feel lazy. So what you have to do to kill the laziness, To do the things without the laziness, you need to generate the desire for doing that. If you are doing meditations, you need to have a desire for doing that. Without the desire, if you do the meditations and do the spiritual practices without the desire, you will feel lazy. That is the first great quality, chanda. Here comes the second one. It's called the chitta. Chitta means the mindset. You need to have the determination, and you should have the correct mindset to do the thing that you want. You need to have a great determination that I will do this thing today. Right? You need to have that mindset of not giving up. If you have the correct mindset to do something, you will never feel lazy. Because you are well focused to that. Your mind is focused to what you are doing. When your mind is focused to something, you don't feel lazy anymore. You don't feel giving up anymore. You don't feel bored anymore. So what you have to do, you need to have a correct mindset to do that work. Then you will never feel lazy. That is the second step. Third step, and the third great quality, that's called the virya. Virya means effort. To do something, to achieve any good goal in your life, you need to give some effort to that. You need to dedicate yourself. You need to sacrifice your time, your life, your blood and sweat to do that. Then only you can achieve that. When you are dedicated for something, when your mind is dedicated for something, you will never feel lazy. So what you have to do, you need to dedicate yourself, and you need to try hard in your works, try hard in your studies. You should never give up in your meditations. Then you will never feel lazy, because you are committed to that. You are dedicated to your work. That is the third step. That is the third great quality. Here comes the fourth great quality. That is the final one. It's called the vimamsa. Vimamsa means investigation. You need to investigate what are the ways that I can do my work easily. What are the ways that I can be more productive in my work? If you investigate yourself in your work, then you can kill the laziness. Because sometimes we do the things that we don't love and that we don't like. If you have the power of investigation, that what are the things that I like to do? What are the things that my heart feels free to do? If you do those things, you will never feel lazy. So what you have to do? You need to have these four great qualities. First one is called chanda, the desire. Second one, chitta, the mindset. Third one, virya, the effort. And the final one, vimamsa, the investigation. So if you have these four great qualities, you can do the things without the laziness, and you can kill the laziness in your life. So practice these qualities and escape from the laziness and be happy in your life. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, welcome to Inner Guide program. Today, from this episode, I'm going to share with you an important quality that we all should develop within ourselves to achieve the successfulness and to achieve the goals in our life. So that special quality is known as the consistency. What do you mean by consistency? Consistency means doing something, a special work, special actions, without stopping for a long period of time. So that is what you call consistency. To achieve big goals, to achieve your dreams in your life, you need to have the special quality of consistency. If you are a student, you need to study consistently. If you are an entrepreneur, you have to take decisions and you have to try hard to develop your business consistently. If you are a person who is practicing spirituality, you need to practice that consistently. So, consistent, doing something again and again without stopping, without giving up, will make our careers into perfection. Right? It doesn't matter how talented you are, it doesn't matter how bright you are, all you need to do is to practice this consistency. So I'm going to teach you today 2 tips that you can develop and you can practice to bring this consistency to your work. Because if we did not practice the continuity of our work, we may do our work for sometimes a short period of time, and we may give up. So, consistency is the key for success. Here are the 2 tips that we can practice to bring the consistency to our work. Number 1, you must have low expectations when you are doing your work. You have to expect very low progress in the beginning. Now, why do I say like that? Now, most of the time, when we take meditators, the people who are meditating, sometimes they sit for the meditation expecting that their mind to be tranquilized and calm and peaceful all at once. But that will not happen, although we liked for that, although we looked for that. So, if we make more and high expectations, the problem is that you are expecting the results. You are expecting instant results. Now, in the life's problems, in the life's goals, you cannot expect and you can gain the results instantly. All the achievements, all the successful and good achievements in this world and in this life are slow. It should be done step by step. It takes time. It's meandering. So it is very slow. So what do you have to do? You have to expect a little progress in one session of practice. Right? So now people may think that people may say to you that you need to have big expectations and you have to do a lot. Right? But by doing a lot at one time makes you tired. Then that is why people are giving all at once. Right? In the first day of meditation, they meditate for about 3 hours and they get tired of that and they give up. So what you have to do is you have to expect very little progress. Slow progress is better than no progress. Right? So you have to keep your expectations low. If you make high expectations, you will suffer because you become obsessed with the results. Sometimes the results may not come to us as we want it to be. Right? So what we have to do, we have to keep our expectations low. We have to expect a very low progress from one practice. Right? If you are studying, if you studied for 1 hour, Don't think that you have done it for the perfection. Now you are knowledgeable. No. It will make you a small progress, but it is very small. So you have to be happy with that small progress in your life. Right? So then, when you are not making high expectations, you will not become frustrated about your results, because you are expecting a low result. Then, if you are doing this again and again, consistently, that will increase your progress. Right? That will increase your results. So if you meditate for 20 minutes a day, right? If you keep on doing this daily, as a daily practice, then one day you will have the ability to gain a peaceful and calm mind. But if you practice 3 hours all at once, then after that, if you give up, you will make no progress in that meditation. So what you have to do, you have to practice this consistency. To practice this consistency, you have to expect little progress from one session and keep on doing it. Right? It's like this. Now, a tiny drop of water, when a tiny drop of water falls on a rock, it doesn't make any change on that rock. But what if those tiny drops of water falls again and again and again, continuously, consistently to that rock? What will be happen? With the time, it will make a huge hole in that rock. So that tiny drop of water could not make any difference, any change on that rock in the beginning. But if it was keep falling onto that rock again and again and again, consistently, that will make the change. So in the beginning, right, when you are beginning your careers, right, when you are starting to meditate, when you are starting to study, in the first year, in the first month, or maybe in the first day, that will never make any change. But remember, you are on that path of progression, right? You are doing it consistently, and I'm very sure one day you can achieve the goal that you always wanted to be. So what you have to do? You have to keep your expectations very low, right? But you have to keep doing it consistently. That one day you will have the ability or the opportunity to gain the achievements and successful achievements in your life. That is the first tip. Here's the second tip that you need to have to practice the consistency. You have to be patient. That is one of the greatest qualities that we can have to our life, the patience. If you have the patience, you can wait until the problems are switched off in your life, right? You will not be backed down from the problems. You will not fall down from the problems. You can wait until they are fade away from your life. Right? There may be dark days. There may be days that you feel like you are giving up. Right? There may be days that you feel tired. But if you have the patience, you will never give up in your careers. So what you have to do? You have to have the patience. You have to wait. Right? So little by little, if you are going to that goal, if you are walking to that goal, then one day, right, it may be not today, it may be not tomorrow, maybe not in next month, but one day, make sure one day you are going to achieve all the goals that you have in your life. So if you need to practice consistency, you have to have these two qualities. Number one, it is to have the low expectations. Be not frustrated about the results that you are having currently. If you are keeping on doing this as a daily basis, that will make you success in the long run. So what you have to do? You have to make your expectations low and you have to be patient. If you practice these qualities, you can bring the consistency to your work. Then one day you will achieve all the goals that you dreamt about in your life, and you can be happy one day. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, throughout the day, we think thousands and millions of thoughts. So among these thoughts, most of them are negative, and only few among them are called positive. So that is the nature of our mind, that it is always tends to the negative side, to the dark side. So throughout the day, in most of the times, negative thoughts may pop up in our mind. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us that we should eliminate these negative thoughts. The thoughts that makes us distracted and the thoughts that disrupt our inner peace, these thoughts should be eliminated. So, today we are going to learn and talk about few steps that we can do or practice in our practical life to eliminate these negative thoughts. First of all, let's learn and know what are the negative thoughts. Supreme Buddha taught us the negative thoughts are, the evil thoughts are the thoughts of anger, hatred, resentment, delusion, lust and desire. So these thoughts ruin our inner peace. These thoughts disrupt our inner peace. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us some ways to practice in our practical life to eliminate these negative thoughts. Supreme Buddha taught, as the first step, when a negative thought pop up in your mind. Now suppose the anger popped up in your mind. So what we can do? As the first step, Supreme Buddha taught, you should shift that negative thought to something positive. Now for an example, if you got angry with someone, what you can do is, you can shift that thought of anger to thought of loving kindness. So that is what we call the opposite thought of anger. So if your mind is in evil side, right, if you are angry, if you have the resentment in your mind, if you have the jealousy in your mind, you can do the opposite thing of that. To do that, you will have to have the consciousness and mindfulness in your mind, because we have to detect what the thought is. So Supreme Buddha taught, you can shift your mind from unwholesome thoughts to wholesome thoughts. When you are shifting those thoughts from evil side to the wholesome side, Supreme Buddha taught, those evil thoughts, distracting thoughts, and the thoughts of anger, resentment, and ill will may constantly, with the time, they may fade away. So as the first step, what you have to do, you can shift, you can give your attention from evil side to the wholesome side of your mind. Now you have to remember, in your mind, there will always prevail evil as well as the wholesome. The problem with us is, we are giving a big attention to this evil side. So as a practice, as a habit, make a practice of contemplating and giving attention to the wholesome things in your mind. Then, with the time, those evil thoughts may fade away. So that is the first step. As the second step, Supreme Buddha taught us, if these evil thoughts did not fade away by just shifting your attention from evil to the wholesome, so as the second step, Supreme Buddha taught us, always examine the danger of that thought. Now you have to know that evil thoughts are dangerous and they are harmful for our mind. Now normally, when we are eating food, we have big concern to clean them up. Right? When you take vegetables, you wash them, and you cook them properly, and you eat. Because you know and you have a big concern in your mind that if I eat something bad, if I eat something corrupted, I will get a stomachache. I will get into a problem with health problem. So we have a big attention about what we eat, what we put from our mouth to our stomach. But we don't give a big attention to what we put into our mind through our eyes and ears and our sixth sense basis. So Supreme Buddha taught that you should give a big attention to what you are thinking, whether it is dangerous or whether it is beneficial for your life. So Supreme Buddha taught that you have to examine the dangerous side of these evil thoughts. When you're examining these things, then you get afraid of thinking these evil thoughts. Now suppose, whenever you get angry, if you can think, oh, this anger is not good for me. If I died when I'm in anger, I will never get a good rebirth. Supreme Buddha explained us, if you died in anger, you will never have a good rebirth. So Supreme Buddha taught that you should examine this danger. Always remember, the evil thoughts of anger, resentment, jealous, lust, hatred, all these evil thoughts are harmful for our mind. Now, stomachache, when you eat something corrupted, when you eat something rotten, it can be cured by just taking medicines. But if you put something into your mind that is corrupted, that corrupted mind cannot be cured easily. So examine the dangerous side. That is the second step that we can do. As the third step, Supreme Buddha advised us, there are some powerful evil thoughts that may not fade away by just examining the dangerous side of these thoughts. So what you have to do, as the third step, Supreme Buddha taught, just ignore them. Do not give a big attention to those thoughts. If we let the thoughts to be thoughts, then by the time that evil thoughts may fade away. So what we have to do, When an evil thought comes into your mind, just ignore it. Don't let it control yourself. Now, the problem with us is when an evil thought pops up in your mind, we act upon them, we speak upon them. So if you got angry with someone, if you got jealous on someone, never do anything and never say anything. Let your evil thought to be a thought and it will fade away with the time. That is the third step that we can do. Just to ignore it. We should not give a big attention to that evil thought. Okay? Then, here comes the fourth step. Supreme Buddha told, there are some powerful evil thoughts that may not fade away by even ignoring it. They may not fade away. Then Supreme Buddha advised us, if those evil thoughts are not fading away, just examine how that evil thought formed up in your mind. Right? So, if you got jealous in your mind, if the jealous pops up in your mind, so what you have to think? You have to think how these thoughts are forming in our mind, in my mind. Then you will realize that I have seen someone's success, someone is living happily, and I got jealous on that person. Then you know that how your thoughts are forming. When you're thinking about the formation of your thoughts, you are drifting your mind from evil thoughts to the wholesome side. You are shifting your mind. You are not giving a big attention to the evil side. So constantly you will forget those evil thoughts and they may fade away. That is the fourth step that we can do. Here comes the fifth step, and this is the final thing that we can do. Supreme Buddha advised, if these evil thoughts are not fading away by examining how these thoughts are formed up in your mind, Supreme Buddha said, take a big effort to your body, take a big effort to your mind, and threaten your mind that I am not going to act upon these thoughts. I'm not going to do these things. I'm not going to say these words from my mouth. Because if we did something when our mind is in evil side, if we did something from our body, all those physical actions are evil. If we say something from our mouth when our mind is in evil side, all those words are evil. So you can threaten your mind that I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to act upon my evil thoughts. You can crush your mind by your mind. You can crush those evil thoughts by your mind. So Supreme Buddha said, that is the final protocol that we can do. If you constantly practice these 5 steps, then you will have the opportunity to develop wholesome thoughts, develop wholesome qualities within your mind, because that will make a habit. Now, normally, we have made a habit of practicing and thinking evil thoughts. So if you are shifting your evil thoughts to the wholesome thoughts, then that will make a habit of wholesome thoughts. And finally, one day, you will feel that you are thinking only wholesome thoughts throughout the day. So I wish you all, by practicing these 5 advices that was given by our great teacher Supreme Buddha, may all of you have the opportunity to develop wholesome practices and wholesome qualities and generate wholesome thoughts throughout the day. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, When we come to this human world, we had to live with this human population. And also, we have to deal with these humans. So when we are dealing and when we are living with these humans, we will see so many good qualities and as well as bad qualities of humans. So when we take the people around us, when we take the people around who are living with us, we can find so many good qualities and bad qualities. But the problem with us is we are programmed and we have practiced to see always the faults of people, the dark side of people, the evil qualities of people. The more we see the dark and the bad qualities of people, we will get angry. Sometimes we may hold on to resentment. Sometimes we may become jealous. So these evil thoughts may come into our mind when we deal with humans and when we see the dark and the evil qualities of humans. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised us that you should always focus on the good of the people. You should train your mind to see the bright side of the people. So, our great teacher Supreme Buddha described there are 5 types of people in this world. The first type of people is the people who do good but they speak evil words. Now in the society, we may find such people. They do so many good things with their body. They may not kill animals, they may save the lives of animals. And they do so many things, so many good things with their body. But their words are bad. What they speak is very bad. So we may find such people. Supreme Buddha advised us that you should always focus on that good quality. You can focus on that good physical actions and you can control the anger upon them. That is the first type of people. Here comes the second type. Supreme Buddha said, there are people who do evil things, but they speak good words. They may kill animals, they may commit sexual misconduct, they may steal the people's possessions, but they speak good words. They may never tell a lie. They may never say any angry words from their mouth. So what you have to do is, you can focus on that good verbal action, good words, and you can control the anger. When you are contemplating on the bright side of people, you will always be kind to them and you will never be angry with them. So that is the second type. Here comes the third type of people. There are people who do evil things as well as who speak evil things. But eventually, by time to time, they may do some meritorious things. You can find such people. Sometimes, very rarely, they may go to temples and they observe precepts and they do some offerings and they do some good things. But it is very rare. Supreme Buddha advised that you should focus on that good quality. You can control your anger by contemplating on that person's good quality. What is that? Oh, they are doing some good deeds, meritorious things, eventually. Then you can control that anger. That is the third type of people. Here comes the fourth type of people. There are people who never do good things from their body as well as from their words, and they never do any good deed in their life. It is very hard to find a good quality of that person. Supreme Buddha advised us, if you meet such a person, what you have to do is, you have to focus your mind for the compassion. You can be compassionate to them and you can feel pity about them. You can think, oh, this poor person, poor thing, he is committing evil things. Eventually, he will get the result of this karma. He will find the consequences of these evil deeds. Then you can feel compassionate about them. But never, ever be angry with them. That is what our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised. It is the fourth type. And here comes the fifth type. Supreme Buddha said, you will find people who do good as well as they speak good, and they are very meritorious. We will find people who are filled with good qualities. Then what you have to do? You have to focus on these good qualities which are abundant and clearly seen in them. When you see such people, when you deal with such people, it is very easy to contemplate on the good qualities of people. Dear devotees and my dear children, always remember, never find a fault of a person. Never judge a person, because we don't know what is the real story of their life. Sometimes they may act in anger, they may act in the way that we don't like, but sometimes they may have a bad day. Sometimes all of their days are bad. So what we have to do, we have to focus on a good quality of that person. When we focus on a good quality, we will never get angry. We will never get upset with the person. And it is very easy to deal with humans when we are contemplating on the bright side of people. So, when you are living in this society, don't judge people. Don't find the faults of people. Always focus on the bright side of the people. And when it takes to your personal life, you have to focus on your bright side. Sometimes we may have faults, we may have bad qualities. The problem with us is when we see such bad qualities within ourselves, we become sad. We become depressed. We become mentally down because we think, oh, I will never get rid of these bad qualities any day. No, you can do that. You can escape from these bad qualities and you can develop good habits, good qualities. So what you have to do is, you have to think and you have to focus on your bright side. You may have good qualities. Now all of us have good qualities. So what you have to do, you have to focus on those good qualities. The more you focus on the bright side of your life as well as in the others, you will be happy. You can live freely, and also you will get the opportunity to develop wholesome qualities in your mind. So I wish you all, by contemplating on the bright side of the people and as well as you, may you have a happy and wonderful life in this world. Namo Buddhaya, Teruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Dear meritorious devotees and my dear children, today from this Q&A program, we are going to discuss about the mindfulness. Now normally, most of the people who practice the spirituality and meditations ask from us that, how can I be mindful? How can I practice mindfulness? And most of you ask that, how can I be in the present without going in the arena of past and the future? So today we are going to learn how to be in the present as well as how to be mindful. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha described us there are 4 types of establishments of mindfulness. The first one is the mindfulness of the body. It is known as the Kaya Anupassana. Second one is the mindfulness on the feelings. It is called the Vedana Anupassana. Third one is the mindfulness of the mind, Chitta Anupassana. And finally, it is the mindfulness of the phenomena, Dhamma Anupassana. These 4 types of establishments are taught by our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. So, in these 4 types of establishments of mindfulness, one of the major establishments of mindfulness is the mindfulness of the body. So, we can practice the mindfulness towards our body. So today we are going to learn a wonderful and important meditation that we can bring into our practical life. So normally, most of the people, they don't have the time to do meditations. They are busy, they are living a busy life. So this meditation will help you to bring a meditation to your busy life and to practice it while you are doing your day-to-day works. So this meditation is known as Iriyapatha meditation. It means contemplation of our mind on our bodily postures. Supreme Buddha advised us that you should direct your mind to be contemplated, be concentrated, and be aware of your bodily postures. If you are being mindful on your bodily postures, it means you are living in the present. Supreme Buddha describes it like this: Gacchanto va gacchamiti pajanati. If you are walking, when you are walking, you have to understand that you are walking. Titom va titom hiti pajanati. When you are sitting down, you have to understand that you are sitting down. When you are lying down, you have to understand that posture. When you are doing this, when you are being aware of your postures, bodily postures, your mind stays in the present as well as you are mindful about your body, what you are doing. So this meditation can be practiced while you are doing your day-to-day activities. Whether you are sweeping, cleaning your house, you can be mindful on that action. While you are cooking, you can be mindful about your bodily postures. Here's one practical way to do that. Now, normally, our mind is not ready to be mindful always. If we command our mind to stay mindful, now you should stay mindful, mind is not ready for that. So we can trick our mind and we can make our mind to stay mindful and to stay present. So what we have to do is, we have to ask a simple question from our mind, from ourselves. That question is, what am I doing now? Now, if I ask from myself that what am I doing now, I can answer for that. If I ask from myself, I can answer it. I am sitting on a chair, I am talking, and I am moving my hands. So when you ask that question, you become aware of what you are doing, your current posture of your body. So when you become aware of that, your mind quickly comes into the present and it comes into the mindfulness. So when you're doing certain things throughout the day, what you have to do, just ask from your mind that what you are doing. What am I doing? Then you will get answers. Then you will understand that you are doing something. Now normally, we do so many things at a time. Right? We try to do so many things at one time. So that should not be done, because when we do so many things at a time, at one time, our mind becomes busy. It will easily distracted, and it loses its mindfulness. So it is much better to do one thing at a time. Now, how many of you watch the TV while eating? How many of you use the mobile phone while you are eating? Now, people who are using the smartphones, they know that when they eat, they take their mobile phone and they scroll through social media or whatever. They do so many things with their mobile phone. When you are doing that, remember, you are losing your mindfulness. And also, you are not completely using your mobile phone, or you are not completely watching the TV, as well as you are not completely enjoying your food. So that is why it is very essential to do one thing at a time. So when you are eating, what you have to do, just eat. While you are watching the TV, don't do anything, just watch it. Right? So normally when you are eating, you can feel that warmth and texture and taste of that food. Right? If you are being aware of that perceptions, that feelings, then you can bring the mindfulness even while you are eating. Right? So what you have to do, the first thing to do is do one thing at a time. Don't eat while you are watching the TV. Don't use your mobile phone while eating. Right? It's just kind of slow down your process and progress and your activities, but it's very essential for the concentration of your mind, for the calmness of your mind. Right? So if you're continuously observing what you are doing about your bodily postures, right, you are being aware of it. Now, why we should be aware of our body and our mind? Why should we be mindful? So these are the benefits of being mindful. Now, before doing something, if you are mindful, before doing something, you can detect and you can determine whether it is a good one, good action, or a bad thing. Whether should I do this thing now or should not. You can decide what to do and what not to before doing that. Now, normally we do so many evil things without any awareness, without much thinking. So if you are mindful, it is much easy and it will be a great help to protect the precepts, to refrain from evil things, evil deeds. So that helps for your virtues. That helps to your virtuous life. That is the first benefit. And by being mindful, by focusing on our body, by being mindful on our body, you can concentrate your mind. Your mind becomes calm and it is concentrated, because mind does not wander here and there when you are being mindful on your body. It kind of cool down and concentrated and tranquilize your mind. That is the second benefit. Third benefit, if you practice this deeply, this meditation, being mindful on your body, Supreme Buddha described us, and you can realize the true reality of this life, of this world, that leads to the wisdom. So This being mindful helps you for the virtues. This is called the sila. Second thing is the concentration of your mind. It is called the samadhi. And third, we can lead this mindfulness to the wisdom. That is called the prajna. So by being mindful, you can gain these benefits to your life. So as a summary, first of all, the main thing to do to be mindful is to do one thing at a time. Don't rush your mind. Okay? That is the first step. As the second step, always ask that simple question from your mind. What is it? What am I doing now? When you ask that simple question, you can be mindful about what you are doing. So when you practice this mindfulness, you can be happy. It tranquilizes your mind, and you will attain a calm and quiet and peaceful mind throughout the day. So I wish you all, by practicing this mindfulness, may you attain a peaceful and wonderful mind to your life. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai.